Do not go flying without this important document. And stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to show you where you can get this document for free, and I'm going to go through each of the sections so you know why they're in there and what they mean. I recently did a video about the items I always carry in my drone bag, link above, and one of the items was this. A document containing all the drone laws and my flyer details. The feedback in that video was amazing. You guys thought this was a fantastic idea, and I had lots of comments with people asking if I could send them this document so they could print it out and add it to their own drone bag. Well, I've went ahead and I've made this a downloadable link so you can go in, adjust it to your flyer details, print it out and stick it in your own bag. Let's take a look in this video and jump right in. So before I get into this video and go through each of the sections of this document, explaining what they are, why you need them, and where you can download it, I just want to say if you learned something new in this video, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you're new around here and haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe and make sure that the notification bell is on so you don't miss any of my other drone related videos. So what is this document? Well, this is a document I always carry in my drone bag whenever I go flying. And it has two main sections. The first section are my drone and flyer details. And that is basically information on the drone and information on myself as a flyer. And the second is the drone law specific for the drone I'm flying. So in this case, it's for the DJI Mini 2, and the download for this will be for the DJI Mini 2. So why is this document important? There's lots of scenarios where I've personally been flying, and I've heard of other people flying, where people can get confrontational about you flying a drone. And they can make you feel like you're in the wrong for flying your drone when most of the time you're doing nothing wrong, you're in the right. You're maybe on a beach flying your drone and someone takes issue with it. And I don't know about you, but personally for me in them scenarios, I can get caught off guard really easy. So if I'm enjoying myself flying my drone, trying to get cinematic shots, trying to make content for YouTube, and someone comes up and they're like, hey, you shouldn't be flying that drone here, what are you doing? Even though I know the drone law pretty well, I think, and I know that I'm allowed to be flying, I can just get caught so off guard that it's like, oh, okay, sorry, and you put your drone away and you scarper, because not only do you not want a confrontation, but just to draw that information from yourself in those scenarios when you get caught off guard can be quite tricky. So what I did was I started to carry this, and because I now have the drone law on a document that I can easily produce, it just makes them scenarios much easier to handle. Now if someone comes up and says, hey, you can't be flying that here, I can say, well, actually, yes, this is a DJI Mini 2, it's an A1 class drone, it's under 250 grams, I am permitted to fly it in recreational areas such as a beach, so I am legally allowed to fly this drone here. So I think it's a critical document to have in your drone bag, and because so many of you have asked to be able to get this document and print it out for yourselves, I have made it a downloadable link. So what you want to do if you want to grab this is you want to click the link in the description down below. I've created a UK, a US and an EU version of the document because obviously the drone laws are slightly different depending where you are. Now I'm a little less knowledgeable, I will admit, about the US and EU drone laws. I predominantly fly in the UK. I've done my best, but if you notice an issue with it, feel free to change it. Like I say, because I fly in the UK, I'm most up to date with the UK drone law. So when you bring it up, there's going to be a few places where you need to add information in, and I'm going to go through now and explain what each of the sections are and talk a little bit about the information I've put in. So I'm looking here at the UK version, and the first thing you will see is flyer details. Within the UK, it's law that you must have a flyer ID and operator ID. So because it is a requirement in the UK, I find it handy to have your flyer ID and operator ID at the top of this document. The next section is for your insurance details. Now in the UK, you can fly as a hobbyist or as a commercial pilot with the Mini 2 without doing any exams. But if you fly commercially, you need to have insurance. And I actually think if you fly recreationally, insurance is so cheap, you might as well have it because you just don't know what's going to happen. And so I have insurance. And so in here, I would put my insurance provider and then my insurance reference or ID for that insurance. The next is drone details. So this document is specific for the DJI Mini 2 and the laws are for an A1 class drone, but feel free to use this document as a template and change the drone details and drone laws if you're flying a different drone like an Air 2S. So you can see it's a DJI Mini 2, it's an A1 class drone, its weight is actually 242 grams, so it's under 249 grams, but the takeoff weight is 242 grams. Next I have the A1 class specific drone law, and again I'm looking at the UK document here, and the first I have is where I can fly. And next I have CAA examples of residential, recreational, commercial and industrial areas. Now the reason I have this in here is so there's no ambiguity over what each of the sections meant. So if someone ever says to you, this is not a residential area, you can say, well actually yes, under the CAA examples of the definitions of residential areas, cities and towns is included, so I can. So you've got your residential areas, so cities and towns, recreationals, so things like tourist attractions, sports facilities, commercials, like shopping centres, warehouses, and industrial areas like factories, docks, etc. And this just leaves no ambiguity over the areas that you are allowed to fly. And lastly, I have a section called What Am I Using This Drone For? And this is a section for you to fill out because I think a lot of times confrontation can be appeased by having a quick discussion and getting a much more mutual understanding of what it is you're doing. I think a lot of people tend to think sometimes that people are out being reckless with drones. And by simply saying, no, I'm actually out just taking a photo of this landscape, I know my drone law, and I'm just taking landscape photos. Or for example, in my case, I'm just out creating content for my drone related YouTube. I am an experienced pilot. That will appease people who thought that you were maybe just out, inexperienced drone pilot, and could possibly potentially cause damage with your drone by being an inexperienced pilot, things like that. And so this section will help you know what to quickly say to get a much more mutual understanding with whoever has an issue with your flying a drone, and 9 times out of 10 that will appease any issues when you're out flying. So this is the document. Like I say, you can download it using the link below. I have a UK, US and EU specific one. Again, the EU and US specific are going off my limited knowledge of your drone laws, so if there is any issues, feel free to change them. And like I say, go through, fill out any details specific to yourself, change any sections you feel you need to change to be more specific to the flying you're doing, stick it in your drone bag, and then anytime you have any confrontation when you're out flying, you're going to be much more prepared. And look, this is all about going out and just enjoying flying your drone. And to do that, you can know that if you ever have any confrontation problems, or if anyone ever has an issue with your flying and you are in the right, that you can quickly explain and educate them in a friendly, easy manner so that you can continue on flying, and that you can just have a much better interaction with someone who generally has an issue with your flying your drone in the first place, but then goes away having no issues with your flying at all. So download it, print it out, stick it in your drone bag, and if you appreciate or have learned something new in this video, please hit the like button. If you're new around here and haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my other drone related videos. I really appreciate you watching this video to the end. I'll see you in the next one.